Well, the cosmetic and beauty products company L'Oreal has been around for 115 years, and for more than 50 years, the company has operated with the tagline, "Because I'm worth it." Now, this genius piece of marketing projects an image of the company and its products regardless of the economic times. But as Australia's discretionary spending power goes backwards, something we've talked about today, the question is whether something else now is also kicking in, and that's called the lipstick effect. This economic measure, which was first suggested by Professor Juliet Shaw in her 1998 book, The Overspent American, says that in tough times, women indulge in discretionary purchases that give them a boost without breaking the bank. In other words, lipstick. So how about now? Alex Davison is the Australian Chief Executive of L'Oreal and joins me now from Melbourne. Alex, many thanks for your time. Let's go to the lipstick effect. Let's start right there. We know that discretionary spending is down broadly, but a company such as yours, which has been going for so long, it must sense the lipstick effect if it's true.
Ross, first off, thanks for having me on. Delighted to be with you today. Before I answer that question, I'll take a little step back and talk a bit about what beauty means to humanity, because it helps understand what's behind the lipstick effect. And it's something actually we were showcasing in an event in Sydney just now. So really, beauty is much more than just looking good, right? It feeds our self-confidence. It helps us with our relationships with others. It's part of self-expression. It can feed your self-care as well. So these are all fundamental human traits, which is why beauty's been important since as long as there's been humanity, and it's existed across time and cultures and geographies as well. Here in Australia, it's been you can go back 60,000 years in Aboriginal culture, and you'll see beauty rituals being part of that. So it's very much part of being humanity. So when you look at things like the cost of living crunch right now that is taking place here in Australia, you do still find that there is still dynamism within the beauty market. There is still this so-called lipstick effect. But the beauty market sort of manifests itself in slightly different ways in this moment.
So just explain to me how, because quite clearly, you're right, self-confidence, keeping your job, being good for your peers, looking good for your peers, that's important no matter who you are, no matter where you are in our society.
Well, there are a number of trends that have been in beauty for a while, and they're still very strong today. So the first thing is no matter what the cost of living impacts, of course, it impacts all parts of society in different ways, and you still find that a very strong trend of premiumization running across every single category. So consumers are still looking out for high-performing, more efficacious products that offer a different sort of experience. So if you look in fragrances, you'll see growth, even at the super high end of fragrances or skincare as well, and even hair care. Premiumization of hair care is very, very strong right now. You'll see it in the supermarkets with brands like L'Oréal Paris and innovation like glycolic gloss, and even in other parts of the market as well, with brands like Kerastase, creating a very new sort of super premium segment within hair care. So there's always going to be this premiumization, flight to premiumization, even in tough times. Then you've got at the other end of the market, what we try and make sure we do at L'Oréal is that we have very accessible price points. So across all of our categories, we make sure that we have offerings. For example, a Garnier skin mask that could be you could have that for $3, and other sorts of purchases as well. So we need to operate across all price points to make sure that we can address the needs of all Australian consumers, no matter how they're experiencing this current economic time.
Because there's a parallel here, and this is becoming very real. The beauty equals health, and health equals beauty. So in many cases, what you're promoting is not just beauty, but also health for skin care, health for hair care. These types of things almost run parallel, the so-called natural beauty, as it were.
You're absolutely right, Ross. I mean, if we go back, it seems like a long time ago, but go back to COVID when we're all shut down, locked down in our houses. We spent a lot of time looking at ourselves in TV screens, and people began to and they were looking online about how to take better care of themselves, and they found that, for example, skincare is a way that they can look after an aspect of their well-being and self-care. It led to a big boom in skincare during those years. And then, of course, after the lockdown, other categories began to explode. So with the resocialization after COVID, we had makeup being another boom category in that moment. And then, as always, there's the what's next. Now, as I said before, it's fragrances are super hot. And the latest being premium skincare, premium hair care as well. So I think consumers, through time, we all find that it feeds aspects of our well-being, as I said, be it self-confidence, self-expression, self-care. So it's always through time, which is why beauty is such a dynamic market over the years.
You touched on it a little earlier, but for L'Oreal, being such a large company and such an old company, it really is about segment marketing as well. So yours is about brand management, about being able to match those brands with the various segments of the market that you identify. So there is not just one market that you're aiming for, it's a very broad market once you add in all of those brands.
Ross, you're absolutely right. That's why we have 32 brands here in Australia. I think that what our approach is, we need to address the needs and aspirations of the world's and all Australians' beauty needs and aspirations. So you really can't do that with a single brand. You need to have a portfolio of highly complementary brands that operate across all categories: fragrance, skincare, makeup, hair care, and so forth. And those different positionings and different price points in some cases can mean that we can really cover the needs and offer a very inclusive representation of beauty here in Australia as well. I would like to add that Australians are very engaged with the beauty categories. If you look at the consumption per capita, Australia really ranks very high in the world. So a deep appreciation of beauty here in Australia. We want to make sure that we can meet those needs with our superior products and obviously our go-to-market strategies as well.
If I go back 5-10 years, it might have been imagined that a company like L'Oreal could have been one that was significantly disrupted by the move from traditional bricks and mortar retailing to online retailing. Yet that has not been the case. Why not?
Well, I think that a little bit of an answer of that would lie in L'Oreal's DNA. Because we are a very entrepreneurial company despite our large size. It goes back to the founding of the company 115 years ago. We were founded by a chemist who invented a highly efficacious and safe hair dye, but he went out to the streets of Paris and sold it directly to hair salons, and that was the beginning of this company. And that ethos of being highly entrepreneurial, it's called in French, it's the corsaire spirit. This idea of being a privateer on the seas. Well, I'm looking at the beautiful sea here in Melbourne. Privateer out on the seas, exploration, being bold, adventurous, willing to take risks, entrepreneurial. This is what drives the 90,000 people at L'Oreal. And here in Australia, we've got 1,700 people in the company. This is what drives us every day, this sort of spirit of entrepreneurial. And although we're 32 brands here in Australia, we sort of envision it like we're a flotilla of little ships, each ship being a brand with its captain within a big armada, as I said, seeking to address all the needs and aspirations of the Australian consumer.
Well, the captain of the ship of L'Oreal here in Australia, Alex Davison, it's great to have you on the program today, and many thanks for your time.
Thanks so much, Ross. All the best.